What is up, people, and welcome back to the channel. So today, as we have a little bit of spare time, as you can see, the booster missing a few parts. That's all been sold, that's all gone. Chap came down from northern Scotland all the way to Brum. He's well happy. So this thing here really is stuck in here now until next year. So what we're going to do today is something on the van. So we're going to clean some stuff off, because as you can see, it's been sitting a while. So we're going to have a look at my new steering arms that we had made. I've had them for a while now, and they're still in the box. So we're going to get the vacuum out, get Henry on the job, clean all the dust off. Right then, so we are a bit cleaner than we were. So what we have got now are these. So these are my steering arms. So remember, these are what we had made in plastic, you know, on the old 3D stuff that fit there. Then I sent them off to this place, right? And they made them. Now these are 7075 T6, I think it was. These are also blasted, hard anodized, and they are very nice. They've got all the correct angles in them, and I have had them for ages. I ordered 2 sets, right? So one set is for fitting, and the other set is if we have to make any modifications, as in if I want to machine some part bit out here, you know, just to, if we have to adjust a bump or make anything slightly bigger. But if they fit perfect, I've got a second set for lack of talent issue. So, I mean, I can't see these ever, you know, being an issue of bending if I crash. Because what I'm going to do is this section here is what I'm hoping would bend first. Do you know what I mean? Because what I'm tempted to do is take these steer arms off, get rid of some more steel, so I have this billet steer arm longer, so it will fail if I hit something. But that will be trial and error, because you've got to make sure that it doesn't flex whilst you're driving. Do you know what I mean? So it's got to be strong enough aluminium that it doesn't flex when you're driving, but weak enough aluminium that it gives if I bump. But if not, 2 sets. They do everything. All you have to do is send them the file, pick your materials, your tolerance, your finish, your colours. So now all we got to do is try and put one on. Now I haven't tried them fresh out of the box. So I've swapped. This is one we're going to work on. They're both exactly the same. So what we're going to do is strip it, try and get it on. It is going on. Then we can put the caliper on. We can get the wheel on, and that'll be the first time it's fully built. Then we can start taking some measurements for the new wheels, inwards and outwards, because then this will be its actual final position. Because we know the camber and caster is set where it needs to be. I may actually go more caster yet, I'm not sure, but right, let's stop talking, waffling on. Does anybody else watch the Superbike? Oh crap, what's his name? It's Superbike Surgery. He does like bike repairs from home. Oh mate, I love it. I do love it. He's just like, oh, keep waffling on, waffling again. But he's such a good technician. Do you know what I mean? It's worth watching. Definitely worth watching. I've also got to re-drill these bells, because the bells are set up for the 3/8 UNC bolts, and I want to put M10s, because the Metro flanges want M10s. So there's a little bit of, can I say, slop between the drive flange and the bell. Instead of making custom bolts, I'm just going to put it on the milling machine, use the DRO and re-drill the 4 bolt holes to an M10, like 90 degrees out, so they have all both, you know what I mean. These feet took long enough to get them. I think they were 14. 14 or 9/16. 30, because being 9/16 is loose. 14's a better fit. I'll put doggery it out. Yeah. These are really good quality bolts that I brought originally. I think what we're going to have to do is take these studs out. I think I remember when I designed these with my mates, I've got to make new ones of these, from what I can remember, because that's 3/8, that's M10, M10 or M12, one of the two, metric. Let me have a look. Yeah, so that's an M12 metric, right? But when we designed, come on, we need to get me a new one of these, because it sometimes decides not to function. When we designed this, the way that this arm actually pushes on, we've got the location hole for the dowel, yeah? We oversized it a touch, right? And then this here, you know, I don't know whether anybody even knows, this is a location thing for the dowel. So I'll screw that back in to show you. So that fits snugly in the top of the hub. Then the steering arm goes on and locates also on this to stop any flex. So what I wanted to do was make my own. So it locks into this arm like that and utilises those points. So we've got to make our own custom bolts. You get me? That's the plan. Let me zoom you in a touch. There we go. So that just literally dropped on there, nice, didn't it? Make sure there's no burrs, because there's a tiny burr on there. So I don't want to scratch me new thing. A nice new shiny. Go. I mean, these hubs have got to have a complete rebuild anyway. So what I want to do first is check the shoulder on the bolt against the job. Good luck. Nice. Let's see, because I've got some longer ones. See? So this bolt is a touch longer on the shoulder size than this one. Let's check that out. So that's too big. With a washer, it'll still be too big. So I need to order a bolt that's semi in the middle of that. But if you look at that, there's no wobble. Shoulder is perfect size. So we're going to leave it with the washer on. With the washer, we've still got plenty of engagement. It'll probably actually be alright. I'm going to pop it in there then. And the bottom one goes on like butter. Yeah? And then we'll have a look down the top. Try and go on that left one, because you see how the black is slightly oversized for the door hole. What we'll do is we'll make a bolt to fit this. Yeah, and then perfectly this depth here, we'll shank it down, and that's tough to get to that size. So then it will pull in, and that will totally lock that in place. A lot of people ask, why have I put this section on? Why didn't I just have it bolted on there? Well, if you look at a normal mini steering arm, it pulls on the top in line with the pivot. Yeah? Well, mine is all the way down here. Yeah? These here are only designed, these tabs are only designed for that rotation. Do you know what I mean? So you're bolting a caliper onto here like this. That caliper is trying to be pulled, so it's relying on all this material here to stop that tab ripping off. Yeah, but the other way, it's only that thick, so there's not a lot stopping that from bending. And because we put this down here, this is why all this is so big and meaty, is because it's got this motion. Yeah, so this part is to help stop this doing this by anchoring it. It's basically an anchor, yeah, like an anchor, to stop that or minimize that. That's why everything is so big. So that's why I've got that, and I wanted it in one piece, so to minimize any flexing bolts. So yeah, so now what we'll do is we'll just put these in, because we know they're not going to get in the way, but they will help stop flexing. Look at that. Just amazing fit, isn't it? Back that out. See if that made any difference. Wrong way, Dick. Nope. So that one's stiff in the old anyway. And then brap 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 brap. Now does this fit? So with these like that, we have got this much amount, oh maybe more, of bump steer adjustment if needed. Yeah, and a little bit like that makes quite a bit of difference. You'd be surprised. Now let's have a look if we got the tolerances correct. Oh, look at that. Oh, I think the anodizing may have pushed us over the edge on the old dimension, because that is so close to going in then, wasn't it? Look at that. Now that is precision, considering they worked off a plastic program. But I've got to give that's down to Elliot, that is. My friend Elliot Ness, who did all the CAD work for me for these, because he knows what he's doing, should we say? I do not. Bolt hole, maybe the bolt. Bolt hole's a bit tough. Gone in the bottom one. Might be a bit of burr on there or something then. I mean, it might just be the bolt's a bit oversized for that hole. Fucking leg. Might have flared out a bit too. Come on. Fucking hell. I have got a bit too tight on the old you know what I mean? Ooh. it's a tight fit, considering we haven't got down to the shank yet. Line the other sides up now. It's going to be fun. I should have done that. There's that one. It's got to be nearly coffee o'clock, I'm not going to lie. Come on. Tell you what, they've hit the dimensions right on the titty, aren't they? There is different there we go. There is different tolerances you can pick on their website, but I went with their standard tolerance that they use. I didn't want to go too tight because I didn't know how good they were going to turn up. Do you know what I mean? Really should have put a washer on there, shouldn't I? Tell you what, let's bosh it back out and get a washer on there. Considering I've got one there, I just haven't put it back on the freaking thing, have I? See how it's clearing up now, isn't it, that? Oh, that's amazing. That's just the anodising in the hole, isn't it? Looking good, people. I could have had a lot of different colours, but I just wanted something nice and, you know, minimalistic. Come on. Oh, I fucking love it. Fucking love it, people. I mean, technically, we could just run these. To be honest, looking at it now, and how precise that this place is JLCCNC is, looking at how precise their machining is, I wish I'd have gone a bit closer tolerance on this hole. And I could have probably just got away with using these dowels and just putting, extending the thread down and putting some ARPs on. That's a story for another day. Yeah, really, I reckon I could have just got away with that. But we don't know. That's the problem when you're using a new company. Do you know what I mean? How are you supposed to govern what's going to come out? I had to clean these discs off. They were covered in bloody rust. Pull on it. Caliper. This one. Yeah. I don't remember what size bolts these were. So I've got to order the correct bolts for these beasts as well. So I get the right length shoulder through the caliper. So these will just get us on for now. It'll be so weird when you see people look at this car and they'll go, hang on, why is the caliper on the back? It's a Mini. That's not running Mini hubs. And I go, oh, but there it is. You know what I mean? Mini suspension. It's just slightly modified. Okay? Oh, I'm going to fall over. This side, what I've had to do first of all is change the top ball joint because it was damaged. Take the 2 studs out and re-tap the holes because they're full of Loctite. And also, so this top arm and this bottom arm, they run a number 9 taper. Yeah, for the ball joints. You know, for this section of the ball joints. So I've had to redo these. I own a full set of taper bits. So I've had to redo them. It looked like someone's run it loose at one point. It was just oval, the hole. So when you put it in, it was a bit loosey-goosey. So now we're back to nice and tighty-whitey. Plus, I've got a bit more engagement on the threads now on the top. So what we're going to do now is put this one back together. The same as we just did the other side. Should be nice and simple. Hopefully, he says. We've got the new ball joints on the top. Well, the top ones were the bottom ones, but because we put the spacers in, top them went away. We had spares. I'm going to get all new nuts for these. Everything's going to be ARP. Going to be amazing. What size is it? 16 years. Beautiful. Steer arm. Dropped in beautifully as the and so did the other side. So whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. Put the bracket back on. I did notice this top thread was a little tight. See? Might just throw a tap down now. I think I've got them. I found one of my old ones, but I don't want my new one. I've got a brand new set of 3/8 UNC taps. Where have they gone? Very odd. I don't know if I will get in with this. Okay. This is just been a bad one. I'm going to put washers on these. So, change the bolt as well, so you can remove bolt. Just in case. That look nice again. Beautiful look. Let's see. What do with that? I haven't put this in, have I? hopefully this will be the same as the other side. Just damn near perfect. You'd have thought so, unless there's any difference in the actual manufactured spaces. To be honest, fuck off, you kid jockey. Don't you fucking take it to piece. Oh, for fuck's sake. Right, put the one in. Stay. Think. Because you say you don't know what the spec is. What's the tolerance on these bloody, you know, misalignment spaces? Are they made to the same tolerance as my arms? Probably not. You know what I mean? Tell you what, that's fucking close. That is so nearly in. Do you know what I mean? Just doesn't want to let me in. You know what? I'm not going to risk damaging it. Take a little bit off these. Oh, that's better. Just that touch, you know what I mean? I might even do that to the other side. You know, that's basically fucking nothing I've taken off. It's just brought it into a better tolerance for me to stop sliding away. This bolt as well. Be amazed how much that belt sander comes in useful. Go on. We know it's going to go in. Because in the bottom, I'm guessing that from this we can determine it's the weight anodised. Somehow. Do you know what I mean? Because we know it's going to go through, don't we? So we went through on the other one. Can you hear it? Doesn't want to go though, does he? It's the anodising. Must be a little bit too much anodising on this top. See, it's only right at the top. Go on. Everything's a hammer. I'll get a hammer. Okay. Let's just do the anodising, hasn't it? Right around that top. Right, let's try again. Oh, fuck off. Well, at least we know we're not going to have any play in our bolts, don't we? go. As you can see, we've got plenty of space for misalignment adjustment, haven't we? So if we have to dial out a little bit of bump steer somehow. This caliper's never been out of the wrapper. Ta-da! Couple of bolts. Big enough to hold it up. I haven't ordered any pads yet. Remember the saga I had with these calipers, that when they came, nothing fitted? My friends just ordered the same kit. Lo and behold, yeah, it doesn't fit, so I've got to send him one of these dry flanges to try. So it uses the Metro offset dry flange. Can't wait to carry on with this car. Some big parts coming for it. Ta-da! Look, we are back together. So I put all the splits on. The rears fit well on the table. Hang on, let me zoom in a bit. Yeah, so we fit well. The car has slightly gone over to one side, but we fit well. The rear arches, yeah. Sorry. Once they're trimmed up and about flush in, I reckon, the back wheel is going to be about there. Yeah? But these wheels are designed to run on the back of the Mini, and as you see, I don't run spacer hubs. I run non-spacer hubs. And the flanges I've got on the back of here at the Mini are for the CAD disc brake setup, which I don't need. But they are the same as a spacer hub. So this will go in another inch. So then what we need to do, we need to send it in the inch. Measure to see how much of a bigger tyre I can get on the back over this 175. Fronts, as you can see, stick out a little bit, which we knew that was going to happen because these wheels are designed to run on the van, no, the booster. So we need to lose 3 to 3.5 inch. Looking for me, it's 3.5 inch really for the outer rim. Yes, 3.5 inch. It's about 3.5 inch. So what we need to do now is take the front end back off and see if we can gain that 3.5 inch on the inside. Do you know what I mean? Which is the plan. So there's a few measurements we need to do here to make sure that this is actually going to be possible. Ooh, sorry, it wasn't very smooth. So we need to know here our clearance from our rim to here. We are 2.5 inches with clearance. So we can make it 3 if we run this shock with the knob on the back, because this is going to have double adjust on it. So we'll have the 2 knobs, so we can put those 2 knobs on the back. To be honest, I can redesign this suspension bracket if I need to send the bottom of this shock in slightly. I know we spent a lot of time working out the geometry so this shock travels directly up instead of having any yawn to it, but half inch on the bottom isn't going to make that much of a difference. Do you know what I mean? So we can scrape. This is from the rib, you know, where the sticky out part of the rib, we're dead level. I reckon I can clear 3 inches with the knob on the back. Yeah, because 3 inches is to the touching the knob, right? So that's 3 inches. I reckon if we move that in, we can get that 3.5 inch. I reckon we can. So now what we need to do is take my rack stopper out, because we need to do some other checks on lock to lock, but make sure we've got the distance there. This rack has not got any rack limiters in it. Let's have a look. Touching anything? Just shy of the splitter. Don't forget though, this has got no rack limiters in, but it will have rack limiters in. Oh, there it is. So without the rack limiters, we are gonna have an issue. Yeah, because we've only got 2 inches of travel. Well, I know we're going to have rack limiters because I'm going to fucking make them. So otherwise the CV joint will bottom out. Right? So, let me think. On that car, one rotation is 20 degrees. Just over one rotation is 20 degrees, and I know that because that's where you work out your cast angle to. Got 3 inches. 3 inches. And let's check on the back on the other side. Oh, shit tons of room. Absolute shit tons. We've got 5 inches. So from that we can determine we can move a lot of this wheel onto the inside without having an issue. Yeah, we're still 3 inches to the middle of the knob. So I could buy some rim sections 3 inches wider on the inside, 3 inches narrower on the outside, and we'll be just shy. Don't forget these AR1s are wider than the 9-inch slick. They're more of a square tyre, the 9-inch rolls in. What are these actual tyres across? 235, aren't they? About 9.5 inches. Something like that. So yeah, I reckon we can make this work. And if I need to, I will just make the bump stops, the rack limiters to suit. Yeah? Right then, we're going to call that video here, and we'll crack on another day. Yeah? Right, thanks for watching a bit of van stuff. It's probably a long video, but it's been nice to do a little bit on the van, ain't it? Well then, catch you next one, people. See you later.